Hello, curious souls. Welcome back to my diary. This is episode 3. Now, there are seasons of sufferings that you don't fully understand until you taste relief, right? For years, hunger was normal in our house. Not the dramatic kind that people post on social media, like not with the kind with cameras and pity. This is the quiet, everyday kind of hunger. The kind that makes you learn how to drink water slowly so your stomach think it's food, you know? The kind that makes you chew garri like it's a full meal and smile like you're okay. The kind that makes you watch pictures of food just in hope that you feel full. So when my mom started working for the Bamidele family, I noticed it in the most embarrassing way possible. We stopped skipping meals once. Not even like let's manage. Not even eat small so it will last. Nope. Food became very stable for once in our house. If you've never lived with uncertainty, you won't understand what that does to a person. It's not just the full stomach, it's the peace. It's the way you breathe differently when you know that you won't have to calculate your hunger. And so I was about 14 or maybe 15, about around that time, when she started working for the Bamideles. And I still remember thinking, so this is what it feels like to not be scared of tomorrow? Because that was one of the best periods of our lives. My mom never said anything, of course. She couldn't say anything, but she moved differently. Her steps had less panic. Her shoulders sat a little bit higher. She began buying small things that felt like luxuries to us, like soap that smelled nicer, bread that wasn't the cheapest, sardine that wasn't from the bottom shelf. And Oma noticed it too. Actually, Oma was always the first to notice things. One afternoon, she whispered to me, eyes wide, Ma, we're eating egg again. Again. As if egg was a holiday. And that's how I knew that the Bamidele family were paying not just well, they were paying life-changing well. And so for over a year, my mom worked in that house, but she never took us there. Not once. She never really mentioned the house the way she mentioned other places. I mean, with other families, even if she didn't really talk, she sometimes points when we pass the street, or her eyes would shift when she saw a familiar gate. With the Bamideles, she kept it locked away inside her. And if we were now, that would have told me something. But I was just a 14-year-old girl. All I knew was that we were finally eating like human beings. The first day I went to the Bamidele house is still sharp in my mind. It began like any other morning. My mom tying her scarf, packing her towels, checking her small purse like it contained miracles, and Oma still sleeping, mouth open, innocent in that way that children are before life starts teaching them lessons. Then my mom paused. She looked at me, and not like a mother would look at a child. She's like someone asking for help. She gestured to me to come. I blinked. Me? And she nodded. Then she pointed to Oma's room, shook her head firmly. Only me? My stomach tightened. I didn't know why, but it felt like when the sky looks normal, but your bones sense rain. I dressed quickly, and as we walked out, Oma sat up on the mattress, confused. Where are you both going? My mother turned, smiled gently, and signed something that even I didn't get at that time. Then Oma looked at me. Ma, it's okay, I lied. I'll be back. I'll be back soon. When I followed my mom that day, I realized something. She wasn't taking me because she wanted me to see her job. She was taking me because she needed support, actual support. And that alone was enough to make my throat tighten. The Bamidele gate was black and tall and quiet. Not tall like rich, tall like private, tall like we don't expect visitors. There were cameras. Cameras always make you feel guilty even when you've done nothing wrong. Honestly. My mom didn't knock. She pressed something and the gate slid open with a smoothness that honestly felt disrespectful. Like even their gate had money. She didn't use the back door, and that's what surprised me. She walked straight to the front entrance. And for a second I thought, ah, so this is what a proper walk looks like. They respect her. I was still naive. A uniformed man opened the door and looked at both of us like he was scanning for dirt. His eyes landed on me and stayed there for too long. Then my mother did sign quickly and explained to him. The man didn't smile, but he stepped aside reluctantly. We stepped into the house. I recall the house smelled like perfume and cold air, this chilled air from freezer. Not cooking, not warmth, not home, just cold, luxury. It was kind of place where the sitting room looked untouched, as if people lived somewhere else and only came here to prove that they could own a house, unoccupied. My mom led me into the kitchen, and that's when I understood why she had brought me. There was a pile of work that looked like it had been waiting for her personally. This was not ordinary cleaning, not like help us to tidy up. This was like, honestly, like punishment cleaning. It's as if they had a party overnight and then had like a lot of guests and just didn't bother to clean up and were waiting for her to come do the job. And it was kind of job that made you wonder whether the owners had been watching the dust build up on purpose. Like, My mom looked at me and she signed slowly. Help me today. My heart sank. And then, because the universe has a very, very, very funny sense of timing, I heard a voice behind us. Lazy, smooth, male, young. So you finally brought reinforcements, he said. I turned and I saw him. He was the Bamidele Son. He looked about 17, 18, maybe a little older. I wasn't really sure at that time. But the kind of boy who wears confidence the way people wear hunger. Like it's always there, like it shapes every decision. He leaned against the doorway like the house belonged to his spine, like the air was trained to make room for him. And then his eyes landed on me and flicked away like I wasn't worth a second glance. Then he looked back and held my gaze. Longer this time. Who is this? He asked. Like I was an object my mother had mistakenly carried in. My mother signed and then she pulled out her notepad and wrote on it, my daughter, Ma. He hummed. Okay, he said. Ma, since you're here, don't just stand like decoration. Decoration? That word sat on my skin like heat. He pointed towards the pantry. Arrange those. Everything should face forward. Label side visible. Then he pointed to the fridge. Wipe that. Inside that too. Wipe this. Wipe that. Then he nodded towards the sink. Wash those plates properly. No greasy film. He said like he was assigning chores to the house help. Like he didn't realize I was just here to help her mom survive the day. My cheeks burned. My pride rose up like fever. I wanted to remind him that I was not employed by his family. I was not his worker. I was not his anything. But the truth was that I saw my mom's hand trembling slightly as she worked. And I just swallowed my pride for her. That was my first day in the Bamidele house. That day I learned that good money sometimes comes with expensive humiliation. All the food we've been eating, full square meals we've been eating was at the expense of humiliation. That day I felt my body react to someone I didn't really like, because when this boy walked past me, close enough that I caught the scent of his cologne, my heart jumped stupidly. Like, it didn't even care. I wanted to slap his face. And I hated myself for that. I still felt that nerves around him, despite the anger that was boiling inside of me. And I hated him more for that. I didn't know then that this would become the beginning of something far bigger than a dirty kitchen or a proud boy, with a rich son name. Something that will make me laugh later, cry later, and eventually pay a price I still don't know how to forgive. Okay, till next time, my people. Life, lessons, and everything in between.